Good morning, Nigeria, and a beautiful Thursday to you. Welcome to today's newspaper review. First, we'll start with the New Telegraph. On the New Telegraph newspaper, the lead page is on insecurity. The Minister of Defense has given order to soldiers that they should shoot terrorists on sight and not wait for order. The page is on page 2, 3, and 27 of the newspaper. Then at the top of the same newspaper, this is on foreign scene coming from President Donald Trump on a Middle East crisis. He says that ceasefire is over after U.S. and Iran trade strikes. You get the full story on page 4 of the same newspaper. At the bottom of the same newspaper, this is on Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council controversy. Adeyemi backtracks. He says that he's unsure of Gbaja's involvement. You get the full story on page 3, 5, and 6 of the newspaper. Adeyemi says he's unsure of Gbaja's involvement in the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council controversy. Then on page 4 of the same newspaper on xenophobia, federal government threatens more drastic action over killing of Nigerians in South Africa. Away from that newspaper to the First Daily. On the First Daily newspaper, the lead page still on the same no more waiting, shoot them. This is coming from the defense ministers giving order to troops to engage bandits, terrorists without delay. Then at the top of the newspaper as well, this is coming from NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi. He says that he may not be alive before 2027, alleges threat and intimidation. Still in the same newspaper, in the middle of the newspaper as well, House of Reps joins Senate's demand for end to repentant terrorist rehabilitation. In the same newspaper as well, Central Bank of Nigeria warns against rejection of 100 naira notes. So for people who are rejecting 100 naira notes, the federal government, the Central Bank of Nigeria has actually warned against 100 naira note rejection. Away from that newspaper to the Daily Trust. On the Daily Trust newspaper, this is coming from the Sudan of Sokoto. He says, North must unite against banditry and terrorism. Then at the bottom of that same newspaper on page 6, reps to invite budget minister over Phantom Council. Then on page 24 of the same newspaper, rainfall destroys over 20 houses, farmlands in Plateau. This is very sad. We move away from that newspaper to the Matrix. On the Matrix newspaper, the lead page says, on page 2 says, federal government welcomes ExxonMobil's $1 billion investment. You get the full story on page 2 of the newspaper. In the middle of the same newspaper, still on the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council scandal, ADC rejects IPCP probe, demands independent judicial panel. The full story is on page 3 of the newspaper. Then by the right side of the newspaper on page 9, Tinubu to CSOs, put Nigeria first, shun harmful foreign influence. Then at the bottom of the newspaper on entertainment, this is coming from Nollywood actor Lateef Adedimeji. He has opened up on his wife's triplet pregnancy. Recall that the wife recently gave birth to triplet, and a lot of controversy was circulating online. Some people were saying that they didn't see the wife pregnant and the rest. Now the man has finally opened up on the wife's triplet pregnancy. We move away from that newspaper to the Guardian newspaper. On the Guardian newspaper on page 6, legal distractions, intimidation, weaken opposition's 2027 contest. By the right-hand side of the newspaper on page 4, NAS names 43 institutions in Nelfon double tuition scandal. Then on page 18 of the newspaper at the bottom, Circle Ventures invest in Flutter Wave at $3.25 billion valuation to accelerate cross-border payments. Still in the same newspaper on page 2, Senate seeks 15-year jail term, asset forfeiture for fake drug dealers. Away from that newspaper to the Daily Monitor. On the Daily Monitor, the lead page says, don't wait for others to shoot terrorists, defense minister tells troops. This happens to be the latest headlines on our newspaper today, and the full story is on page 2 of that same newspaper. Then at the top of the newspaper on page 2 as well, UBA Foundation partners slum to school to equip pupils with financial literacy skills. That's coming from the UBA. They are partnering with Slum to School to equip pupils with financial literacy skills. Then at the bottom of the newspaper as well, on page 1, International Monetary Funds project Nigeria's 2026 growth at 4.1%, put global growth at 3.0%. The full story is on page 1 of the newspaper. We move away from that newspaper to the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, the lead page says 2027 election, 6 legal hurdles before INEC. You get the full story on page 2 of the newspaper. Then at the top of the newspaper, coming from International Monetary Fund, rising prices threatens Nigeria's poverty reduction gain. The full story is on page 22. Then constituency projects, alleged funding suspension throws reps into rowdy section. The full story is on page 12 of the newspaper. Away from that newspaper to the Daily Sun. On the Daily Sun newspaper, commotion in House of Representatives over motion to summon Tinubu. The full story is on page 6. Lawmakers kick against plan to suspend constituencies project. Then on page 27 of the newspaper, Tinubu hails Aliyah for job creation through industrial revival, peace, environment. Tinubu hails Aliyah for job creation through industrial revival, peaceful environment. Then on page 26 of the newspaper, join military, Chief of Army Staff begs Southeast. The Chief of Army Staff is begging the Southeasterners to join the army, to join military rather. The Chief of Army Staff is begging the Southeasterners to join the military in the fight against terrorism and banditry. We've come to the end of the newspaper review. Many thanks for watching. I am Cassie Tony, and you have a beautiful day.